So Glenn Greenwald went on Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News, assuming this was maybe from last night or the day before, making the case of why Julian Assange should be completely pardoned by the Trump administration, by Donald Trump, as obviously he has the power to do that. So let's take a listen to what Glenn Greenwald said with regards to this.
To publish very embarrassing information about the endless war machine, about the neocons who are working with the Obama administration. To understand what's happening here, we can look at a very similar case, which is one that President Trump recently raised, which is the prosecution by the Obama administration as well of Edward Snowden for the same reason, that he exposed the lies that James Clapper told. He exposed how there's this massive spying system that the NSA and the CIA control that they can use against American citizens. And obviously this isn't coming from President Trump. He praised WikiLeaks in 2016 for informing the public. He knows firsthand how these spying systems that Edward Snowden exposed can be abused and were abused in 2016. This is coming from people who work in the CIA, who work in the Pentagon, who insist on endless war, and who believe that they're a government unto themselves, more powerful than the president. I posted this weekend a speech from Dwight Eisenhower warning that this military-industrial complex, what we now call the deep state, is becoming more powerful than the president. Chuck Schumer warned right before President Trump took office that President Trump challenging the CIA was foolish because they have many ways to get back at anybody who impedes them. That's what these cases are about, Tucker. They're punishing Julian Assange and trying to punish Edward Snowden for informing the public about things they have the right to know about the Obama administration. They're basically saying to President Trump, you don't run the country even though you were elected. We do. And they're daring him to use his pardon power to put an end to these very abusive prosecutions. One which resulted in 8 years of punishment for Julian Assange for telling the truth. The other one which resulted in 7 years of exile for Edward Snowden of being in Russia simply for informing the public and embarrassing political officials who are very powerful.
So in 30 seconds, the president could pardon Julian Assange right now and end this. Is that correct?
Yep.
He could pardon him and Edward Snowden, and there's widespread support across the political spectrum on both the right and the left for doing both. It would be politically advantageous for the president. The only people who would be angry would be Susan Rice, John Brennan, Jim Comey, and James Clapper, because they're the ones who both of them exposed.
I mean, there's Greenwald making a really clear and concise case of why Julian Assange should be pardoned, completely exonerated. WikiLeaks, all they have done is publish documents, exposing crimes of the U.S. government, other governments around the world, crimes of the, the military-industrial complex, and that's why Assange has been targeted and persecuted for exposing the crimes of the U.S. empire simply as a journalist, as a reporter. An attack on Julian Assange and WikiLeaks is attack on a free press. Let's not forget Julian Assange is being charged under the Espionage Act. He's not spying for any other country. He was simply presenting these documents exposing the crimes of the U.S. empire. And again, that's why he's being targeted and persecuted and why they're trying to extradite him to the United States currently. And I think Greenwald is right there to say that, people on the left, people on the right, I would think by and large would support Assange, Snowden being pardoned, because all they have done is provided a great service to the U.S. public by exposing the crimes of our government. Again, it's just ridiculous. It's disgusting, and Trump obviously has that in his power to do that. We don't know if that was just rhetoric, what he was saying about maybe having to think about pardoning Snowden. Would he do the same thing for Assange? It's tough to say right now. And again, the Assange's extradition trial is happening right now in the UK, which has basically just been a sham from the beginning. A lot of the judges involved have some really huge conflicts of interest. The judge presiding over the case right now, who will make this decision on whether Assange would be extradited or not to the U.S., I think has like a 96% rating of granting extradition in these cases, as well as just a lot of secrecy around that judge. And so there's just a lot of fucked up, crazy shit going on besides Assange being charged with these ridiculous, baseless crimes by the U.S. state. And Assange, Manning, Snowden, they are all heroes, and they should be applauded as such. I mean, it would be... Trump has obviously done a lot of fucked up shit and continues to do, no doubt, both foreign and domestically. But if he was to pardon Assange and Snowden, those would be two inherently good things that he could actually do.